A few weeks ago, I bought a collection of 35,000 cards in more than 50 boxes, with the intention to keep some of it and flip the rest until I zeroed out the budget. Here's the conclusion and the reveal of what I kept, what I sold, and the final financials. We begin this last leg of the story with the budget $201 in the negative, and with a host of listings up on Marketplace. Last week, I went to a card show and was able to knock out some of the last cards needed for the 1978 Topps set, which is now complete, and got the 1977 Topps baseball set to within 20 cards of completion for a total of $77. While there, I scored an 82 Topps traded Ripken rookie for $120, and a Mattingly rookie for the 84 set for $15, and the Darryl Strawberry rookie for $2. I bought a near-complete box of 84 Topps cards for $20, thinking that was the end of that, but a bunch of the cards were water damaged. So I'm still about 100 cards short of that set's completion, and the budget is moving in the bad direction again. Fortunately, I found a buyer for the 1988 Topps complete set and packaged a lot that included the 1988 Topps rack packs, 1991 sealed Topps micro set, and 1985 Donruss jumbos. $50 for all of it. I sold the 1988 Donruss complete set for $10 and made another deal for one of the 1981 Topps baseball complete sets along with the 1978 Topps football partial set for $100. And while I was away for work, a guy paid for and picked up the 1980 Topps baseball set and 1980 Topps football set, with my wife facilitating the transaction for $275. $175 for the baseball and $100 for the football. And hey, I'm at even money! It's temporary though, as these woods are dark and deep and there are miles to go before I sleep. So back to the card store I went to spend more money on the completion of these sets, to the tune of $115. But for that money, I was able to complete the 1977 Topps football set, which needed 44 commons and the O.J. Simpson, the 1979 Topps baseball set, which needed 66 cards, and the 1982 Topps baseball set, which needed 46 cards, one of which was the Ripken Future Stars rookie. I was planning on picking up this card at a show, but I didn't find one that I liked for a reasonable price point. This shop had a nice one, and they offered it to me for $20, so I was happy to just finish it off here. Of course, my favorite part came later that day when I could sit quietly and complete each set, card by card, in order. The 1970 Topps football set, now complete, went up on Marketplace, and I received a huge outpouring of interest from channel subscribers and collectors from my region. I was not expecting the amount of interest I received on the vintage football sets, not even close. It really blew me away. Perhaps that was just my own ignorance. If you inquired about the cards, I hope you'll understand that I tried my best to be as fair as I could with the requests, because I got more than 50. No sooner did I have this set listed as it was sold to a channel subscriber, $200 plus shipping. As carefully as I could, I packed it up and sent it off to be loved by someone else. That got my total flip budget back on the plus side again. And the sales didn't stop there. They were just getting started. I sold the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie cards from 1981 Topps for $20. The 1989 Bowman Complete set with the Griffey rookie for $25, and the 1979 Topps Football Complete set for $120. All I had left to sell now were partial sets of 81 and 82 Topps and a bunch of bulk. I split the bulk essentially in half, with all the more valuable stuff in a single lot that was sold to a channel subscriber for $125. That was mostly 1976 through 1982 bulk baseball and football commons, and the junk wax stars. The final 10 boxes were mostly junk wax partial sets, but included some 1981 Fleer and 1985 Donruss among the cards. So I threw the whole lot up on Marketplace for $40, $4 a box. I was honest in the listing about what was and what wasn't there, and I had it sold in 2 days. It was time to do some cleanup and organizing. This was my Mount Trashmore that had grown throughout the collection flip process. Cardboard scraps, unusable top loaders and sleeves, stickers, and all manners of card collecting detritus. Into the bin it goes. That cleared some space for me to deal with the stack of singles accumulated throughout this flip. These were the randoms that popped out of the cracks, like the 86 Topps Traded Bo Jackson rookie, the 1991 Upper Deck Michael Jordan baseball rookie, 1981 Nazi Smith, multiple Tim Raines rookies, an Andre Dawson rookie, and so many singles of Hall of Fame players from the 70s and 80s. The 78, 79, 81, and 82 sets are complete, but I'm still short on cards for 77 and 84 Topps. And I was able to piece together a second 1988 Donruss set that is 21 cards short of complete. And I haven't even started on the 1987 Fleer set that is 43 cards short of complete. And I still have 2 unsold items from the collection. 10 sets of 1993 McDonald's NFL Game Day collector cards and a newspaper from the day after the Steelers won the Super Bowl in 1979. I have some interested parties on that, but no final deal yet. So maybe I'll squeak out a few more bucks from those items. With a padded cushion of $415, I went back to the card store in hopes of closing out the remaining sets. 1984 Topps was first, and they had all but one card that I needed. 101 cards for $15, or 15 cents per card. They had all of the 1977 Topps cards remaining on my list, including the Pete Rose and Steve Carlton, $30 for the lot. They had all but one of the 43 cards needed for the 1987 Fleer set, including the Bo Jackson and the Barry Bonds rookies, $15 there. And I closed out this LCS session of the flip by completing yet another 1988 Donruss set, with a $6 lot of the stars needed therein. Multiple trips to card stores and a large card show, and I was still a few cards short. This is where eBay can really shine. I was able to get a 1984 Topps card 777 Tom Paciorek for $1.09 shipped. 1987 Fleer card 628 featuring Jose Canseco and Wally Joyner was $1.37 shipped. When I arrived home, of course, I tore into the sets to hasten their completion. And in my diligence with the 1977 set, I went to place card 188 into the box only to find it already there. Huh? Then I noticed that card 187 was the missing card. Apparently, I had written it down incorrectly. A silly mistake. So off to eBay I go to order card 187, only to discover that card 187 is Dick Pole. The one card I missed was Dick Pole. Dick Pole. So anyway, I ordered Dick Pole's card, $2.20 shipped. The last card, the for real last card purchased for this project. I squared away the 1984 Topps set and the 1987 Fleer set and the 1988 Donruss set. I don't need to sell any of those, so I'll keep them all for now. I have owned and sold a bunch of 88 Donruss sets over the years, and since I'm going to keep this one, I need to make a proper box block for it. I'll use the black, red, and blue colors from the borders, and voila! These little custom touches can make even an 88 Donruss set feel like $1 million. The collection had an original Fleer box that came with it that had other random cards in it, so I moved the 1987 Fleer set back in situ. Not too long after I completed all my sets, I was able to sell the 1979 Steelers Super Bowl newspaper for $100 shipped, which netted about $80 to me, to a Steelers superfan. This was a curious price, as all I did was post in a Steelers Facebook group that I had it and was willing to sell it, and a guy offered me $100 for it. So, that's the price, I guess. Since the 1993 McDonald's cards featured Steelers players, I threw those cards in with the package. That only left this. After all the wheeling and dealing and buying and selling, I still had a partial 1981 top set missing 121 cards, but that included the Baines and Reigns rookies and all the major stars, and a 1982 top set missing 142 cards. Admittedly, I was losing steam on the set completions, but a viewer of the channel reached out with a Ripken Future Stars rookie, and we arranged a trade of the Ripken for some card box dividers. So now I had the Ripken, which made the lift a little less heavy. Also, among the two incomplete sets were about 1,800 various doubles from 81, 82, and 84 tops. And since I traded my way to a Ripken rookie, I thought it was worth trying to trade my way to these set completions. So I took all the extra cards, more than 1,800, to the same LCS where I had been buying the commons, and traded them in against the 260 cards that I needed to complete the extra 81 and 82 sets. It was essentially a 7-to-1 trade for commons. For every 7 VGEX or better card I traded in, they gave me 1 back. So without any additional monies, I got rid of the final bits of bulk and now had complete 1981 and 1982 top sets to sell. I put them up for $150 for the pair, and in a few days had them sold. The final transaction of this collection flip, and the final money's in. I surpassed my goal of getting back to net $0 by $574.34. That's a tidy little sum for the pleasure of screwing around with sports cards on and off for the better part of a month. Here's the total financial breakdown. I bought the collection for $700. I had to spend an additional $393.66 in cards to complete the various sets to maximize their value, and I bought an 82 traded Ripken rookie just for the fun of augmenting my 1982 top set for another $120. Total spend above the price of the collection was $513.66, totaling $1,213.66 cash out of pocket. Selling through all the complete sets and various lots, I had total sales of $1,788, netting to me $574.34 in cash for my troubles. But more importantly, and why I did this, I got to keep these. 11 complete sets of baseball cards, all EX or better, all rookies, plus a host of bonus singles. I acquired, for no money, a complete 1977 top set, 78 top set, 79 top set, 81 top set, 81 Fleer set, 82 top set, 82 Fleer set, 82 Donruss set, 84 top set, 87 Fleer set, and 88 Donruss. Very conservatively, that's $1,000 worth of cards kept. Cards that now enter my permanent collection for permanent enjoyment, which brings my total cash and cash equivalents up to more than $1,500 on this collection flip. I mean, check out this Aussie. Centered Aussies do exist, and here's the proof, and it's all mine. And it's all mine for free. In retrospect, I could have kept one of the Joe Montana rookies, and maybe I should have, but the guys who bought them will enjoy having them much more than me, and I'm just as content to share the joy of the hobby in that way. Some of you might be bristling out there that I ripped off the original collection owner, but I don't think I did. $700 was a fair price for the collection in the condition that I found it, as I found it, and as I bought it. As I discussed in my video about collection values, the original seller could have taken on all this work and expense themselves, and then sold the collection themselves for more than $2,000 probably. But in most cases, and definitely in this case, the owner just wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to spend a month documenting each card, completing each set and dealing with the ghosts and goblins of Facebook Marketplace to get each piece sold to the right buyer for a maximum value. That time and effort is worth something. At least it was to me. And I get to store these new sets in these fancy new sealing and locking storage cases, which came along with the collection. What an absolutely fun way to spend my hobby time and efforts. Flipping a collection, finding joyful and appreciative buyers for its respective pieces, keeping some of it for myself, and having 5 Benjamins in the card budget left over to go after perhaps another 1915 Crackerjack. But that's another video. I hope this was as interesting for you as it was fun for me. In that way, we all win. Thanks for watching. Help support the channel with the purchase of a custom card box divider made to your exacting specifications. Send me an email at phillysbaseballcards@gmail.com to talk about how.